Charleston White thinks David is innocent. What up, words? Boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, I'm not here to try to tell you that you should already know one way or the other that the artist David murdered the young 15-year-old girl, or he did not. But in true N-word logic fashion, Charleston White has yet another ridiculous take, and you know how I feel about Charleston White. He is the king of N-words. Basically, Charleston White, just like Nas said, you get one love, one life, and it can only be one king. Out of all the N-word logic, the nigga logic purveyors, Charleston White has to be the number one purveyor of nigga logic. And what I mean by that is to go on a nationally, streamed program and declare not only is this man, which he doesn't have enough evidence to say one way or the other, which is clear during the interview. I'm going to play a little bit of the interview, but not only does he not have enough evidence to say that the man is innocent, he goes on to say that he believes he's being set up, right? He's hearing what's being told to him. Sean Cotton of Say Cheese is doing an excellent job, which Sean Cotton rarely pushes back on Charleston White. Let's just be honest. He usually revs him up and just let him go. And when he does give him a little pushback, he'll give him a slight nudge and then he'll be quiet, because letting Charleston White run, putting a battery in his back, is worth way more money than getting him upset that he storms out of the studio. Let's just be honest. So at the end of the day, Sean Cotton does not push back as a lot on Charleston White. Now, with this one, it gets so ridiculous that Charleston White starts to sound so uneducated about the case that I've never heard Sean Cotton raise his voice. He raised his voice and started to scream, and you rarely hear him curse. And he bleeps out the curses, but he cursed himself. So this is how ridiculous Charleston White will get you when you're a man of logic and you're looking at the big picture, the details of the case. Because the thing about Charleston White, when he gets in that lit nigga logic mode, which is every single morning that he wakes up. So at the end of the day, he goes into nigga logic mode, which nigga logic makes you lock up. It makes you lock on one topic, and you can't change stances. You can't be swayed. You can't be told new information. They can't introduce new information, because with that kind of logic, you won't accept new information. As soon as the new information comes in, that N-word logic is going to shift it back to N-word logic and try to spew it out in an N-word way. And it's dumb. It's not smart. And when you try to debate someone with this kind of logic, you can't win, because they just get louder and they get more ignorant. So what we're going to see on this situation, after I read a little bit of the article, what we're going to see in this situation is Charleston White get less and less logical, but the N-word in him won't let him go any further and start to be like, okay, maybe you have a point. He has to try to manipulate it into his old school way of thinking, okay, which is completely wrong in this case. But I want to have this conversation. So I'm going to read this article. Complex News has the article if you want to go ahead and read it. But it says Charleston White weighs in on the David case. Now, when I first heard about this, I didn't know this guy. I didn't know this artist. I was going to cover it. I said, no, I don't want to cover it yet. I need more information. I don't know enough about this kid or what he got going on with this girl. But since this last, I want to say 2 weeks have transpired, we've learned a lot about this guy, way more than I've ever wanted to know. I haven't seen this much, tomfoolery with an artist that I never heard of since Triple X came around. I'm just gonna be honest. When XXXTentacion, when I first heard about him, he was already 100% popping on the underground. Millions of young people had already knew what he was about. I had since, I think over the course of a year, I started to know everything about him. But when he first popped up, I didn't know anything. And that's what's going on with this David kid. I didn't know this kid from a hole in the wall. I went to his Instagram, but he got 1 million followers. I was like, okay, these kids already popping with him. Okay, he got a whole Discord and all this stuff. So he's already locked in. And just because us old heads don't know who he is doesn't mean nobody knows who he is. He has a very serious fan base. He was on a really major tour. He was going all across. Listen, the tour was crazy. This guy has a very, very rabid fan base of followers, and he was kind of large for his genre of music, okay? But I didn't even know how to say the name. He got the 4 in the minute, D4VD. So I would have been like, D4VD, I would have sounded like some AI slop or some weird shit, right? So I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. I had to start waiting for other people to pronounce it and figure it out. But as it started to go on and you realize that he met this girl when she was young, like we're talking like 12, right? Like, he met this girl, he kind of groomed her, manipulated her. He had a lot of crazy songs about murdering her or murdering someone, right? And the case is looking really, really weird, but it's not enough to arrest. They have no cause yet. But according to Charleston White, why haven't they arrested him yet? That's why he thinks he's innocent. And this is nigga logic at his finest. So what we're going to do is watch a man spiraling. Now, like I said, the king of nigga logic. So in his mind, they haven't arrested him yet, so he couldn't have done it. He got to be innocent. They're setting him up. And this is why we got to stay on our pivot game. We got to stay on point, right? And just continue to. I think we're making a dent in this nigga logic gang. I'm just gonna be honest. I've seen we've made a couple wins. We got a couple wins this year. We saw what's going on with Young Thug. We're winning in that situation. Most of the people online, most of the YouTubers are against what's going on with Young Thug situation. We've seen what's happening with Dame Dash. We've seen what's happening with Lord Jamar, and I could just go on and on. We've seen what happened with Jim Jones. There's a lot of nigga logic is just getting challenged, gang, and a lot of people are starting to wake up and realize, yeah, I gotta chill out with a lot of the stuff that I spewed, this street stuff, this street code stuff. We saw what's going on with Big U, 75 of his own, let's say this, 75 of his own people allegedly are talking and trying to wiggle themselves out of a whole lot of trouble by putting him in the trouble, okay? So it's a lot of stuff going on where things are changing, and for better or worse, things are changing, right? But at the end of the day, what's going on with this thing with Charleston White, I feel like what we're seeing is a man jumping to conclusion without the knowledge. But when you're looking at it from black and white, we're like, the cops haven't arrested him, then he must be innocent. That's N-word logic, gang. We got to understand what we're dealing with. So I want to have this conversation. Charleston White weighs in on the David case. He sounds like he's being set up. That is a quote. White said he finds it hard to believe a black man would be able to walk free if the evidence points to his involvement in a death. And I know a lot of you are going to say, Charles, he's right. He got a point. Because I see the comments when I go over there to say cheese. I'm reading the comments and they're like, he got a point. He kind of cooking. Well, he kind of cooking. And that's the thing. Nigga logic is always set in some kind of truth, right? So what's going on is, yes, a black man wouldn't be able to walk free. But let's just start here. This is a high profile case, gang. They can't rush in with the guns blazing and the badges out. They can't just rush in. We just saw him get burnt with Young Thug. We saw him get burnt with Diddy, right? And he brought up, Charleston White even brings up OJ, which we're going to listen to that. And they got burnt with OJ. OJ, what did it say? If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. That was the first time we had a whole nationwide black party. Was when OJ was crying them tears and they was like, oh, Renthal James. So yeah. They try to move very cautiously before they come and slap the cuffs on. Even with these husbands that murder their wives, it looks very obvious. It takes them months sometimes to put all the dots together before they can go in and get him in arrest, right? So it ain't just that simple. But let me continue. I want to get to where Charleston White is, right? In an interview with Say Cheese, comedian, I love that they call this guy a comedian. This ain't nobody's comedian. This is an old ass fool. This somebody's unk that they can't get him in control. He won't put his pants on. He's running around by the barbecue pit. This is a daggone fool with a bottle of Hennessy in his hand. Let me continue. Charleston White suggested that he doesn't believe singer-songwriter David is responsible for the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was found dead in the trunk of a Tesla registered to him. And he does make sense when he says they never came and got the kid, but it's more stuff to this conversation. In the interview, which can be seen below, White was asked if he's familiar with the story in which Hernandez's heavily decomposed remains were found in David's impounded Tesla after it was abandoned in the Hollywood Hills for almost a month. Quote, he didn't do it. Right here and there, Charleston White has almost no information. He doesn't know that this guy has matching tattoos with this girl. He doesn't know that the guy has songs talking about killing his girlfriend. He doesn't know none of this. He doesn't know that the Tesla has an app that the app will alert the owner when the trunk is open and he was on tour. It's a lot of stuff going on with this case, right? it's a lot of stuff going on in this case that Charleston White has no idea. But in true nigga logic, you're gonna come out and say he didn't do it, right? This is how it goes. Let me continue. Quote, when they gonna let a nigga stay out this long and they got a little bit of evidence? They arrest niggas with way less evidence. They arrest niggas with way less evidence. One, when they don't got no money. This guy got some money. This guy got some lawyers. He got a whole team. All right, if you really pay attention to the case, he got a whole lot of people behind him. Labels are shutting down anybody that was questioning this guy before this even went down. Before the girl even got murdered, they was talking about he was with a young female, a minor, and they was already shutting everything down. Anybody that talked about it got immediately shut down. They was shutting down people that was in the discourse, and they was threatening him and all kind of stuff. So he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know that there's a whole team behind this kid because this kid makes a lot of money, okay? Let me continue. No one has been charged in the Los Angeles Police Department's investigation into the discovery of Hernandez's body as of publishing time. Authorities said they have several leads they are currently looking into, and they have yet to name any potential suspects. So you best believe he is a suspect for number one. He canceled the rest of that tour, which was, he ain't had no choice because the people are like, bro, you're not going to get up here and sing and dance and do backflips off the speakers, right? And try to run up the wall when we sitting here think you murdered this young girl that you shouldn't have been with in the first place. Until that gets solved, we got some stuff to resolve, gang. Like, we're not gonna sit in and just clap our hands and stomp our feet when you might have did some real foul, heinous stuff to this young girl. So yeah, he canceled the tour. He had to. It wasn't because he wanted to. Dude would be still singing if he could. Let me continue. Quote: This is Charleston White. If they found a dead body in me or your car, he's talking to Sean Cotton, and this is our car, do you think they'll let me and you stay out? Well, it's more complicated. He wasn't there. He allegedly he was nowhere near that body or that car, and the body was in there for a while. It was heavily decomposed. So they can't just rush in. Like I said, this guy has a whole legal team. It's a very high-profile case. What if they rush in this week and next week they find the real murderer? But he's sitting in jail in handcuffs. Sound like a lawsuit. No, they can't just rush in, Charles. Right? Let me talk to Charles. They can't just rush in and grab him, Charles. Let me continue, gang. If they got all this information on him dating a minor, that's not the same as murder. And this guy was hiding it. They were doing a very good job of trying to keep this girl out of the limelight. She was hiding her face in half the pictures. This girl was a mystery, just like the whole case is weird. And this guy tried to do a lot of stuff to keep that girl. Now, they can pin him, but it's going to take time. Right? The internet says one thing, but the cops can't go into court. Well, we saw on user 444 page that no, they got to get this shit lined up for real. They can't take a couple miscellaneous pictures and a couple miscellaneous posts and say we got him, right? This guy was very crafty with what he was doing. He made a lot of songs, but he has a lot of other stuff. You gotta tie a lot of other stuff on him than just some songs and a body in a car. Somebody else could have did the body, so they can't just rush into it. But Charleston White don't know that. That don't mean he's innocent, Mr. White. That's what Charleston White don't understand. It doesn't mean that he's innocent. It doesn't mean they got to get more evidence and lay out the case. It doesn't mean, well, you ain't arrested him yesterday, so he innocent. This is the nigga logic that we up against, gang. Let me continue. What nigga did they just let stay free like this? It ain't been that long, gang. It ain't been that long. It been about, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks? It ain't been that long. White questioned why David has yet to be arrested or even held by authorities, especially when black men often go to trial with far less evidence against them. That is a fact. But like I said, it depends on the black man. It depends on the evidence. It depends on what's going on. This guy is not, as far as I know, he's not a known criminal with a criminal history or a criminal past. That plays a lot into when they come and grab you real quick and take you somewhere, right? He was nowhere near the scene when the body was found. So it's a whole lot of things that they got to consider before they just come and grab you. Let me continue. White highlighted that O.J. Simpson was ultimately acquitted in the murder trial of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and Ron Goldman. He was arrested after a bloody glove was found at the scene of the crime. Why would they let him walk away this freely only to lose endorsements and sponsorships and cancel shows, but not his freedom? The police move at a different pace. They don't always rush in, gang. I'm going to get to that in a minute because he brings up Lil Durk. He said, what about Lil Durk? What about this? He brings up different people. But at the same time, it took them a year before they arrested Lil Durk. And they went after he brought up Diddy, and when Diddy got arrested, I believe that it was March that they raided his house. They didn't arrest Diddy till September. So it don't happen overnight, Mr. White. I need you to understand they don't just come and get you because the internet says you're guilty. But it don't mean you're innocent because they didn't get you yet. All right, so let me continue. White also said that David could have bought the Tesla for someone else, which would explain why it was registered to him. That's true. That's what the police need to figure out. But you're saying he's innocent, gang. That's the only problem with stuff. All of this stuff you're saying could be true. But the only problem that I'm stuck on is you're saying that he's innocent. You said he didn't do it. That's why we have the conversation. It's not that none of this stuff could be true or false. It's the fact that you're saying he's innocent. According to you, he can just go home because he ain't been locked up yet. It's nigga logic, gang. It don't make no sense. It's the kind of MAGA shit we up against, gang. Quote, they don't let black men get away with these kinds of crimes. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they get away with it. A lot of times there is no one caught for the crime. Okay? It is what it is. They gotta tie this thing up and put a bow on it and hand it to the prosecution, and the prosecution gotta hand it to the jury and whatever else going on. So it ain't that simple that they don't let niggas get away. It's a lot of, I know some motherfuckers that got out of jail on a technicality on some murders, right? There's a guy back in my day, they called that motherfucker Teflon Sean, okay? From the same area I was from, the DMV. Look him up. They called him Teflon because a lot of shit they couldn't pin on him, all right? Let me keep this pushing. They don't let black men get away with these kind of crimes. Not under this president, homie. I'm not even going to touch that one. You see what they did to Diddy? What did they do to Diddy? Diddy's in jail. Diddy had a lot more evidence on him than this, and it took him a lot longer to go. And let's just be honest, the fucking raid that they got on Diddy, they ain't getting nothing but some baby oil because the so-called tapes, which they really went in there to get. I'm just going to be honest. The tapes, you ain't heard one leak of no tape nowhere, right? That's a whole nother conversation. There's some people on them tapes that got a lot of money, and them tapes got returned to the rightful owner. Let's just leave it at that. So, end of the day, it took them some time. They raided Diddy's house through land, sea, and air. They came on boats and everything else, went through there. Like his son said, you missed the other house, right? They got it. They don't worry about that. They got it. Don't worry about that. What's his name? I don't know which son did that, but he made the rap and shit. But end of the day, right? It takes time to build these cases, and sometimes they can build the case and make it as strong as they got. Because remember, in Diddy's case, they had Diddy with some major charges, and I believe they dumbed those charges down even up to the time of him being in court. Right before sentencing, they started dumbing them charges down. They dumbed it down. Yeah, they broke it down to 4 charges. Because they had a lot more charges. They started dropping stuff. They brought poor Kid Cudi in that courtroom. He outside puffing on a cigarette, this, that, and the third. Young Thug called him a snitch and all this shit. Everything went bad for Kid Cudi. He had to sit up on that stand and get grilled, and they dropped the arson charge. He like, how you drop the arson? Like, out of all the charges, you dropped the arson charge? I sat there and told you he threw a Molotov cocktail in my goddamn BMW. What you mean you dropped the arson charge? Yep. So it don't always stick just because they make a lot of charges. So they got to be careful. Mr. White, you got to understand this. So they can put up all the charges they want. Them charges could get knocked down because these lawyers are really good. They really crafty, right? So let me continue, gang. You can't make me believe they're going to say this. They're going to go on this easy on that nigga that done something horrible to a kid. It don't make no sense to me. They're not going easy on him. This is where the logic comes in. They're not going easy on him, Charles. They got to build a case. It has to be thorough. There's a lot of moving pieces. Of course, he has an alibi. He has an alibi. So they got to pick the alibi apart. It takes time. You've been in jail many times. You know that. They let your ass out on quite a few times, but we already know you got a handler. You make a call. Charles White literally has a handler. He just makes call too because Charles White snitching on everybody. So he don't do long stretches in jail. It is what it is. We already know what's going on. Let me continue. It don't make no sense to me. Maybe his mama done it. Maybe her mama done it and set him up. Maybe one of the racist uncles or cousins that don't like niggas. Maybe the other boyfriend done it. Maybe the pimp who was sex trafficking her for the last year done it. So end of the day, all that sound good, and they're going to pull every thread and try to get every string. But at the end of the day, Mr. White, the only thing that you are saying that's a problem is he's innocent. You're not proving anything. You're throwing around a lot of conjecture and all kind of accusations. And maybe it was the pimp, maybe it was the sex trafficker, but you don't know that David did it. You don't know if he did or he didn't. So again, you're saying he's innocent and he's being set up. It's really wild. In a recent interview on Good Morning America, legal analyst and ABC News anchor Brian Buckmore said that the police don't have answers just yet. A lot of people are going to be asking the very obvious question of why hasn't David been brought in, at least for questioning. Law enforcement doesn't have the answers they want in order to confront or question David, especially without an autopsy report as to the cause and the manner of death. So I don't want to spend mad time on this, but I do want you to hear some of this interview because it's so ridiculous. Like, and I'm like, this is what we got to deal with. I don't really watch Charleston White interviews anymore. I watched this because it was brought up in a news article, and I was like, that's ridiculous. Let me go watch the interview. But I can't sit through Charleston White interviews. I'm just going to be honest. That's just me. You know what I mean? That's just me. But I want to play a little bit of, and if the interview is gone when you see it, that means I got a copyright strike and I had to remove it. But if it doesn't get removed, then we can rock out. But I want to play a little bit of this interview from Say Cheese TV and react to it. All right, let me just get this popping.
About the David kid, the artist that was dating a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Found the body in his trunk.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
He didn't do it.
Out of here, all the evidence that's out there.
When they gonna let it stay out this long and they got a little bit of evidence? They didn't arrest nigga with way less evidence. If nothing, they'll put him in jail just to put a hole on him.
A dead body found in your car?
Listen, hold on. If they find a dead body in me and your car, and this is our car, do you think they'll let me and you stay out like long? They got all, so think about this. If they got all this information on him dating a minor, an underage kid.
That has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. It doesn't mean that he didn't murder this woman, this young girl, because that whole minor thing is a whole nother issue. Okay? But I'm gonna let him finish, but I just wanted to say that they're two different crimes. Let me continue.
She looked like a white girl, mixed girl. What nigga they let just stay free like this? We already claim about injustices. You don't think, like we see in all the first 48 in crime units victims, they would find some kind of reason to hold him?
So he's caught up on the fact that she looks like a mixed girl, white girl. And this is nigga logic. They get caught up. So if the girl was dark skinned, he would be like, hey, don't nobody care about that black girl. This is the stuff that Charleston White spews, and you got to understand how he thinks. He thinks like an old ass unk from the 1940s. He's stuck in the past, right? It has nothing to do with her being mixed or not mixed. It's the fact that they got to tie the case together and slowly put all of the pieces together.
And keep him, make sure he don't do nothing to flee. They're not no arrest. They got all this evidence to point to say he did it. He done sliced the body up because the body was butchered. So that means somewhere there's a location where there's been blood, where they put cut the lights. They got all this, no arrest. Y'all really think he done this and everything points at him. That's why you can't go with this. If everything points at him, why hadn't they made no arrest when we see this get arrested with less evidence?
First of all of that stuff he's saying is from the internet. He doesn't know all of that is true or false. He doesn't know what the police do or don't know because they haven't said what they do and don't know. They said they don't have any suspects right now. So he don't know what they know. He's going by what the internet said they did or they didn't do. So he's making it like they have this, they have that. There's a lot of twists and turns in this case that he's not privy to, and you'll see as Sean starts to let him know. But let me continue.
With less evidence, circumstantial evidence, they go to trial with. So they got all this physical evidence in his car, his girlfriend. Come on, man, something.
She ran away to his house.
Maybe the uncle was. That's why she ran away.
He just said maybe the uncle was effing her, in case you didn't understand what he was trying to say, because the F. It's crazy because salute to Sean Codman doing his thing, but he beeps out the curse words from Charleston, but then he gets so mad, he starts cursing, and his curse words stay in.
What do you mean? She ran away from her house to the artist's house. She's been missing for a year. The body comes up missing. The body was found September 7th or 9th. The body's missing. He's still going on tour. The body's in his car, chopped up, and he's still going on tour. He didn't report the car stolen. He didn't, Bro, he's talking about her music.
So you mean to tell me?
So Charleston White not hearing anything. Sean is getting physically hurting him to talk to this guy because he's not. It's so ridiculous that he's saying he's innocent when you listen to the evidence that they allegedly have. Okay, but Charleston White is about to go forward, nigga. He's listening. He's only listening to respond. He's not listening to intake what he's being told. He's listening to just respond. So he's going to try to make up some type of response.
OJ was found with a bloody glove. He was arrested immediately.
OJ was not found with a bloody glove. They found a bloody glove at OJ's premises outside the window. Mark Furman was the. It's complicated, gang. Mark Furman is the racist cop who hopped the gate before he got the permission to hop the gate, and he found the bloody glove, which is one of the reasons OJ was acquitted of that murder, right? Because Mark Furman hopped the wall, the racist cop found a bloody glove that was allegedly behind in the window, that and the third, or behind the window. So OJ would never had a bloody glove. There was a bloody glove found, which some people think was planted. But let me continue.
Immediately, with all the circumstantial evidence they found on OJ, they placed it. So you mean to tell me they got all of this on this, and he still get to move freely amongst America, and they had to say, hey, we need to house arrest him, we need to do something. Nothing. We don't have no evidence of him going into the police station talking to nobody, but all of this evidence is against him. And y'all want me to believe that a black man in America get to move this freely with this much negative publicity on him, and he's possibly guilty. I like to think outside the box.
Me too.
I like to think outside the box, guys.
You're in the box, but you don't understand. Why would they let him
walk this freely? Only to lose endorsements and sponsorships and cancel shows and not his freedom.
Well, one don't have nothing to do with the other. Endorsements and sponsorships, those are corporations who are skeptical and scary about being associated with a guy. They're dropping anybody sponsorships for the slightest thing, gang. I don't know if you're paying attention. Most of these corporations, it don't take much to get your shit dropped. I'm just gonna be honest. So they're gonna flee the first sign of trouble. You could think of 10 people right now that done something the slightest shit, and they made a joke, and sponsorships are running. So that's not a indication of his innocence or his guilt. It's the sponsors. The sponsors don't want to be entangled in any kind of mess like that. So yes, they're gonna flee, right? And just like with this guy from what's this guy from the Marvel movies who he got in trouble this, that, and the third. Some of these sponsors took him back, right? They're talking about bringing him back for the Avengers, this, that, and the third. He might come back, he might not. Jonathan Majors, but they fleed before, and that wasn't even no dead body in his trunk. He just allegedly hit this white lady, which we end up seeing that his ass really was running down the street trying to get away from her ass. They still got his ass. So end of the day, sponsorship's going to run regard. They're going to flee at the slightest hint of any type of scandal or controversy. So that's not an indication. Let me continue.
In the climate that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
In his car, though.
Listen, who said it's his car? The police.
The car's registered under his name.
Registered under his name. Mm-hmm. Maybe I bought it for them.
Maybe.
Him. Her.
Yep.
I got a bunch of cars out here I done bought, Sean, for people.
That's why they need to take time with the case, Mr. White. They got to take time to figure out who did what with who. You did what with who, right? You got to figure out who did what, who was driving the car. Take time. No, your logic is they didn't come get him yet, so he's innocent. And that's what we're trying to tell you. All these questions, they're valid. He sounds smart to a dumb nigga. So what I'm saying is all this stuff is valid. It doesn't mean he's innocent. That's what the problem is.
I don't place me as the murderer. But as good as technology is today, you guys want me to believe that every single piece of evidence points at his guilt and they don't have probable cause to arrest him.
Okay, fuck the death. He was dating.
See that? He got Sean out of character. I told you, Sean edited out all of Charleston White's curse words, but he got so frustrated with him, he said that after death. Listen, nigga, let me look you in the eye. Listen, gang, like you're not paying attention to what I'm telling you.
A 13-year-old girl.
So we got all the evidence.
It's evidence.
And you want me to believe that she's dead and the police have not even arrested him for being involved.
I don't know if he killed her.
Hold on, listen to me. The mother of somebody can say he was messing with her, right?
The mother did.
So you mean to tell me if he was really messing with her, and they got proof and evidence, if nothing else, they get him on sex charges with a minor so we can at least hold him in jail while we investigate this murder, while we can put pressure on him. See, right now, there's no pressure on him to talk or nothing.
I'm going to tell you why the sex charges with a minor is going to be difficult, because she's not alive to testify. In R. Kelly's case, the girl had to testify. And that's why R. Kelly went to jail, okay? Just so you understand what's going on. Without that girl being able to say this, that, and the third, they don't really have a lot on them with that. They're going to try to build a case, but as of right now, there aren't a lot of pictures with him with this girl. Yeah, there are a few pictures, this, that, and the girl, this, that, and the third. That don't mean they were doing anything. So it's a lot going on. He could be like, I never slept with her, Your Honor. Now, how you going to prove he did? It's going to take time. We could say whatever. He's dating her. Well, maybe they was just dating and they only watch movies together. We don't know. So Charleston White is making the case that he can't substantiate this in court. So they can't arrest him on nothing with the minor because they don't know what he did. And he ain't going to tell him. And the girl ain't around to tell him. That's why, Mr. White.
So obviously the evidence don't really point at him. They don't let black men get away with these kind of crimes, Sean. Not in America.
See, in his mind, he's out because they can't have nothing on him, because if they had anything, he'd be black, they would already have him. It don't always work like that. It don't work by race. Just because you're black, we're gonna arrest you. You still gotta have the evidence, gang. That's the part that he's not understanding. He wants to go off on a tangent and just be right. He's not listening.
Not under this president. Not under this president, homie. Not under this president.
I know we're far gone. I know the country. Listen, I get it. He who shall not be named, the president in office right now, he's made a lot of things. He made people they're able to be openly and violently racist. They don't care no more. They openly. It's a lot of things that are going on, but there still are some checks and balances. There is still the law. So at the end of the day, yes, I hear you under this president, this, that, and the third. Well, he didn't get that bad where everybody that's black just getting treated any kind of way. So no, we're not there yet. And his laws ain't hit the actual law books yet. It's like a culture war we're dealing with right now. So let's keep it pushing.
This Department of Justice and FBI director, they are not fit to let a black man. You see what they did to Diddy?
It's not a federal case. This isn't, as far as I know, this David thing is not a federal case.
He's randomly on video washing all her shoes. Are you seeing this shit?
I am, and I'm also saying.
Do you randomly wash your girl's shoes? All of them? Hand scrubbing?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I swear to God.
You gonna go buy her some new ones, nigga. You rich now.
I can call her right now and say, man, give me them shoes. So
nigga, you getting money now.
Man, I clean them new shoes because I still clean mine. Give me your jewelry. I clean your good. Man, yeah, I do my daughter. Let me clean your shoes.
So this is what I'm talking about. Instead of seeing the logic in it, this guy is a suspect in the murder of a girl. It's not his wife. He ain't been with this girl like that. This is a young girl. He's cleaning her shoes. So instead of processing that information and pulling that in and be like, well, damn, that's kind of weird. Why would he do it? No, I clean my wife's shoes. It's nigga logic, gang. We're not saying that. First of all, you're fucking 50-something, 60 years old, right? And you're not cleaning all your wife. He said he cleaned all this girl's shoes. You're not doing that. Maybe sometimes you clean your wife's shoes here and there. You're not doing that right now, okay? Let's be honest. You make way too much money to be doing all that. So we know you're not doing that. You ain't half the time home. Wasn't he just on a video like 2 days ago talking about, I cheat on my wife, so what? Mind your business. You ain't even in the damn house. What you talking about?
Yeah, I don't clean my girl's shoes. When you got money, you pay for them hot dollars. Man, can we finna go out? Because she ain't gonna clean them. I'm saying.
I don't believe that.
Homie, listen. Y'all want me to believe that we're mistreated by the police. So what y'all always saying?
Okay.
It's unfair. We don't get a fair shot. Why are they giving him a fair shot then?
He has a lot of money.
All the evidence.
It's a high-profile case.
It's circumstantial. And we seen them go to trial on circumstantial evidence.
But they got to get to the trial. Now, I'm sorry. I was talking. He just said Lil Durk. He's going to bring up Lil Durk. It took them a year to arrest Lil Durk. Just so you guys know that. Before I went live, I looked it up. So it took them a year or more. It was long. It wasn't no 2 weeks.
This is a high-profile case that any prosecutor, any FBI investigator would want to get on to get this guy.
Yep.
You
And they're gonna
can't
take
make
their
me
time.
believe they going this easy on that done something this horrible to a kid.
It been like 2 weeks, gang. What's easy about it? This guy has an alibi. They got to get through that first. They don't know who did what to who. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. It's a lot of moving parts. He wants them to just rush in and arrest him.
And he still, and all the black people saying this, when they canceling people's shows for speaking on Kirk.
He has the biggest song right now, the David Kid.
What song do he have?
It's called Romantic Homicide.
It don't mean nothing. He's black. He's black. If he die or go to jail with the biggest song, the record label still make all their money. So why are they protecting this kid? If he's black in America and he's really done this.
He's black, but he makes a lot of money for that same record label. We see them protect these guys all the time. We see it all the time. Until they get arrested, they're going to do everything they can to keep that guy out of jail. And we saw quite a few rappers that should have did more jail time, and the label swooped in and was like, yeah, let's just take it a little easy on them. We've seen that. It's happened many times, so I don't know what he's talking about. These guys are commodities. There's a lot of rappers that should have rotted in jail that got out. They had a lot of people pushing to make sure this, that, and the third, right? Let me keep this pushing, like Meek Mill, right?
That's all I'm saying. It don't make sense to me, so I'm saying let me think outside the box. Maybe his mama done it. Maybe her mama done it and set him up. Maybe one of them racist uncles or
His mama set him up. This is Charleston White.
cousin don't like her. Maybe the other boyfriend done it. Maybe the pimp who was sex trafficking her for the last year when she ran away done it. Maybe because he's been on tour. So obviously maybe he got a good alibi. Well, I was cleaning her shoe. Man, I always clean her shoe. Ask my mom. So maybe he got a good enough alibi to show, man, I didn't do this. Since it
Matching tattoos, same matching tattoo saying shh right here.
well,
Hold on, let me finish before they say all that, right? Maybe all of this stuff is true, but at the end of the day, what Charleston White is not understanding is they got to figure out all of this. They have to figure it out. They're not going to rush in. And maybe this guy didn't do nothing. But I'm going to be honest, and I know they say not to do this, but if it was me and my alibi was rock solid, ain't no way I'm going to be on the highest mountain saying, I ain't do this because I was here, that, and the third. I have nothing to do with this. I'm going to be on tour, gang. Rest in peace to Celeste, right? I believe that's her name. Rest in peace to Celeste. But I had nothing to do with this, and I'm not stopping my tour. Y'all can come out or not. Like, I'm going to be honest because it makes you look even guiltier if you don't say nothing like he's doing. This is the same thing Bill Cosby did. If he's as innocent as this guy's making it, then you got to say that. You have to say that. You have to. Everybody that we saw get arrested for something, a crime or whatever, and they don't profess their innocence loudly and aggressively. Like when let's say it again, when Jay-Z got that lawsuit came up, came out immediately like, listen, this is a shakedown. I ain't do nothing like this, and we gonna fight. This is what the guy needs to be saying. So if Charleston White is right, that he was some way, he had nothing to do with it. Maybe the mom did it. Maybe the pimp did it. Whoever did it, I'm going to be like, I don't know who did it because I ain't got nothing to do with this. I haven't heard this guy say that. Maybe he did. Maybe on another channel. I don't know. But I ain't never heard it. So Charleston White making it like it's all these other people could be. If I'm David, right, D4VD, if I'm that guy, I'm going to be the first guy from the very first day. Oh, that's a tragedy that this girl was found. I don't know how she was in my car, that I have nothing to do with it. I'm going to proclaim my innocence from here going forward. I'm going to be an open book. I'm going to cooperate with the police. Everything is going to be everything. There's nothing I have to do with this situation. I'm going to be very loud and very vocal, and I'm not stopping my tour. Because if I didn't do it, why would I? I'm just going to be honest, and I get it. You're going to lose sponsorships, this, that, and the third. We still got to keep working. I got to keep working. I had nothing to do with it. If I had nothing to do with it, I got to keep going. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Let me continue.
It says matching tattoos as a 13-year-old. What's the excuse behind that, bro?
I don't know. I'm supposed to know. I wasn't a little bit. But I'm saying they must ain't got no evidence that he was a little hoe. And I know they said, man, he wrong for calling her a little hoe, but she was. Little girl don't run away from home. Little hoes and little bitches do. Little fast manish ass, hot pussy hoes.
All right, right there, we going too far, and we getting the classic, ridiculous nigga logic, Charlie White. I'm going to stop that interview right there at that point because it is exceeding what I am willing to deal with. So, with that being said, I'm going to end it on that note. In my opinion, Charleston White is still a backwards, I'm just going to reserve some of these words I got cooking for him. But end of the day, once again, he's on the wrong side of history. He's had a bad take, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I didn't really want to talk about this kid situation because it's too early in it to know all what we need to know. It's just too early. It's too much. It's too many twists and turns, but it looked really bad. And a lot of what I'm learning this year in 2025, when stuff look like a duck and quack like a duck, it's a duck. It ain't never nothing. It's been exactly what it looked like. I've been burnt a couple times in this year talking about what somebody won't do. Well, they would never do that. And I got burnt. So I'm like, nah, I'm not. If it looked like that, that's what it is until it ain't. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. CLBMG. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. Head on over to black-yeti.com. You got to put that dash in the middle, black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. They ship all over the continental U.S. All right. Also, every Wednesday night, we go live on The What Show. We'll probably be discussing this, all right? I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
Elevate your mind with high-quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard and put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end. And then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking. And all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here and we ain't the cheese, we the trap.